Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Of course we are now having another video of Etoh honest opinions, where I give my super honest and totally not biased opinions about towers. Today we are rating one of my least favorite towers of all time, Tower Stress. Are you guys ready? Because I hope you are, because buckle up. This one's gonna be shit. Okay, let's just start. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about the history of this tower. So this tower was the, I think, 7th tower ever made. Wait, let me count. Yeah, 7th tower ever made, or slash in Etoh. It's pretty hard to tell by now already, but you can pretty much tell what towers were the first 5 ever made. But after that it becomes a bit weirder since the kit released, and then people just could make towers, and it's pretty hard to say. But this was the 7th tower in Etoh. It was also the tower, I think, with the least parts when it came out, since this had, of course, the classic version, since it has around only 1,000 parts, which, you know, is a lot, not that much. Less, of course, not more. And it's also one of the few that are in game that still have not that many parts. But then, this tower really, besides that, really doesn't have that much special history, I guess. Just that it got revamped in 2025, along with Tower of Rage, Tower of Thanos Tower, and Tower of Anger. So yeah, I will be talking mostly about the revamp, because I already talked about the classic version, which I'm gonna give my rankings first of all. But these are not to the what did just happen? Anyway, yeah, I will give the gameplay a 3 out of 10. No, a 4 out of 10, you know, I'm gonna try to be nice. The design is a 0 out of 10 on the classic version, and yeah, this and creativity just gonna give it a 1. So yeah, I would make it a 5 out of 30, which is not good. Anyways, let's just start with this tower, this recap. So we start off with floor 1, which is, you know, pretty simple. Just some weird rotation. Then on floor 2, we just get to this multiple path section where, I think there are around 4 paths that you can take. But these get narrowed down to 2. I really like about this part the open, the freedom you have in terms of gameplay. I think there are also a few fake ways, but that's kind of creative. Then we got onto floor 3, which is a bit more trust based and ladder based, just having a bit more simple gameplay. It also again has multiple path sections, but this one is really hard, and I recommend that you just do this one. We also see this thing here, which is also in floor 3, or at least something like that. That's pretty similar. You know, and just gonna say that there's gonna be a pretty iconic element of this tower that's quite similar to it. If you have played this tower and beaten it, then you already know what I'm talking about. Then we get onto floor 4, which is not the most insane floor, it just has pretty simple gameplay. But again, we get a multiple path section. I always like to do this one because it's kind of fun, I guess, to do in that way. But I guess the second path is easier. Now we get onto this part, which again is not too hard. It's pretty similar to floor 3's beginning, I guess. And now we just get a lot more gameplay that's similar to the classic version. In my opinion, this revamp is definitely a bit better than the tower, than the original one. But the bad thing is that it still has a ton of misalignments, and, you know, just This is tough stress. It's not good. Anyways, on floor 5 we get onto a bit more unique floor, I guess. We get onto this section, which is pretty creative in the original version. They made it a bit better with like the net, I guess. Then we get some simple gameplay, and then okay, I have noticed this, but how the hell did this get in game in 2025? That's insane, bro. I thought Etoh was trying to reduce sea fighting, but they put shit like this into the game, man. That's insane. Anyways, after we get again to this really iconic part, where you just walk. This is probably like one of the most memorable parts out of this floor, or maybe even tower. Anyways, yeah, the rest of the floor is quite simple actually. And again, just to save your ears, I'm gonna put out the music because it's pretty terrible. Okay, you know, then we get onto this floor, which uses some fin studs and ladder flicking. Luckily they're netted, so it's not too bad. And this uses curb experience in a pretty unique and nice way that I really like. I also like these free curb spinners, like these triple spinners. Okay, what? How did I fail that, man? Okay, what? Anyways, yeah, the floor 6 is... Oh, God, how the hell did I fail that? Yeah, but floor 6 is rather simple, just having some generic gameplay, which is really similar to the rest of the tower up to this point. Just having, you know, a lot of trust gameplay and some simple jumps. It also features a bit more of, you know, like these head hitters, which are like kind of slanted, which would definitely give new players some problems. Anyways, I'm gonna take a quick break about talking about the gameplay so we can focus on the design real quick so we can get back to floor 6. So basically the design is pretty okay for most of the parts, but due to this tower just using a lot of fin studs, it doesn't really look that good, to be honest. I mean, the original tower was just ugly as hell, and they just randomly they make it look really unsatisfying, and this is just filled with misalignments. And I'm sorry, but at least this tower doesn't have Z fighting. But again, that's okay, I guess. But come on, man. This design is terrible, even for modern standards. It's kind of crazy how this got in game. But yeah, the misalignments are also insane how many there are. Like, Tower of Impossible movement is just... I think Tower Stress is proud of Tower of Impossible movement just because it has so many misalignments. And Tower Stress was the OG TYM in terms of design. And yeah, this part, like, why? You know, you could just end it off here, you know? Which is definitely gonna pull down the design. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing to say about the gameplay recap. We can get a multiple path section. In the original tower, this used to be a dead end. But now you can just take this, and it has a lot of stuff. Now, I don't know what this platform is. I think they're two falling platforms together. Really, I haven't really taken that route, and I'm too lazy to do it. And there's this E-dance clip that you can do. This tower really has a lot of optional things, like optional small challenges, which I like. So if you're a good player, this can be kind of fun for you still, even if this is below your skill ceiling. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the design of this floor, and yeah, what the fuck? I mean, my old towers used to look better than this, and I don't see anyone putting these into Etoh. I guess I have requested them since they're in Tower Creator, I guess. Okay, let's just continue with the gameplay recap. So we just get this trust jump, which is pretty simple, but it's just always kind of scary. Then we get this creative kind of jump, and again, like, this tower is some pretty weird rotation for its time, and just in general. Okay, I just did that without taking damage, that's neat. But this definitely has some kind of like, I've beaten the Tower of Rage revamp recently, and it can have some similarities. And this editor definitely gives new players a lot of struggles, I know that. Then we got this part which is really similar to floor, you know, floor 5. So now we're on to floor 7, which is, in my opinion, the hardest floor, at least in the OG tower. So it starts off with some long jumps, which of course the original Tower of Stress had too. Then we have a truss glide, which, you know, they definitely made the multiple path thing a lot bigger in this tower, and I like it a lot more. And then we have gameplay like this. You know, BRPD Gaming, a YouTuber that I like his videos. Yeah, roasted this section, but I don't even find this to be this bad, to be honest. I don't really hate that exposure section too much. It's pretty creative, but compared, like, there was nothing similar like that in the original tower. So it's kind of weird that they put something like that into the tower. I think this is faster. Fuck. No. But yeah, floor 7's like iconic parts, I guess, are just, is that like big structure, just like, you know, near like on, you know, on that floor. Basically just that structure is pretty memorable of the floor. And the long jumps, which are again one of the hardest parts of the entire tower, which is, you know, kind of memorable. Again, the only reason why this tower is kind of popular is just because it's bad and ring 1. That's basically just the entire reason for this tower being done well, I guess. And I guess, you know, the jump on floor 9, which I'm not gonna spoil for now. Okay, should I take this path? Okay, yeah, this path has a lot more long jumps, which is a lot more similar than the OG one. To the OG one. But yeah, this just has, you know, the structure and gameplay, and it's kind of creative, I guess. Now we get on to floor 8, which the original version had like 4 spinners. And so they decided to use flipping 10 or something like that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spinners, man. More than twice. Yeah, this floor has some more, you know, pretty similar gameplay. This really doesn't change too much of the gameplay, to be honest. It just has some trust gameplay. But this floor definitely is not that easy. But then we get on to, again, another multiple path section. Which, again, how many flipping are you gonna put into this? Like, every floor has a multiple path section, by the way. Besides floor 10, I think. And like, I don't know, floor, besides that, I think nothing. Besides, like, floor 4 has like an alternate path, but again, like, 2 different jumps. Okay, yeah, now we get onto the spinner, which is really similar to Citadel of laptop splitting. Basically just the same than the basement and floor 9 spinners. Then we got onto this part, which used to be not the easiest in the original. Now it's pretty easy and pathetic. And then we get onto a more basic gameplay. And now we're on floor 9. This floor is, again, one of the more infamous floors, I would say. So basically we start with some simple... Oh my god, another fucking misalignment. It's not really a misalignment, but I hate when the towers just do it for an unnecessary reason. Just make it like slightly thinner. And now we get onto the most iconic part of this tower. Okay, why doesn't the music play? That's bad. Like, it's kind of insane that this got into Etoh out of all towers. Anyways, yeah, we then get onto this truss, which is literally the most iconic part about this tower. You know, also one of the most iconic parts in Ring 1. I remember doing this truss beating it for the first time and just going berserk. I think one thing that they did better than the original one is they just basically make the trusses colored to the frame or like the gameplay inside of it, and add this wall so you can climb the truss a bit faster. Then we just continue on floor 9. After doing that, whoa. Oh no, this is floor 6. Okay. Yeah, why did I fail that? You know what, we're just gonna talk about the creativity while I try to get back. I'm just clip farming, bro. You know what, I'm just gonna continue with the recap. So basically floor 9 just continues with a lot. Can I do that scale? I don't know. Just, you know, floor 9 continues with a lot more basic gameplay, similar to the rest of the tower. Basically, like, most of the towers just super similar. The only difference why they're memorable is just because of their different floors, I guess. Okay, how did I fail there? Anyway, yeah. Then we got onto floor 10, which is in my opinion my favorite floor, because it also like has a wall that just randomly turns like around 30 degrees down, which is pretty unique, I would say. Definitely also the music on floor 10 is just peak, man. But yeah, the floor 10 is pretty cool, and it has some similarities with these like raps and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, I talked about the design already. It has a ton of misalignment, so let's talk about the creativity. Yeah, the creativity is pretty I mean, it's a revamp, so I'm just gonna talk about the creativity that this revamp has, not including the things that the classic version alone has. But I will count the things that they share, I guess. You know, that's how I do it, I guess. You know. So this tower has a lot of, you know, interesting gimmicks, like this thing here, that this platform, these spinners that are just like free spinners, I guess. And also the falling wall and the truss. So this tower is quite creative, to be honest. For being a revamp, of course. It doesn't really add that much, but I really like the idea that you get a multiple path section on every single floor. I think even floor 10 has one. So basically every floor has multiple path section, which is pretty cool, I guess. Like, you could basically just pick your own path to do this tower, which I support. I mean, I like freedom in a tower, so that's not too bad. But yeah, now let's just continue with the ranking. You know what? Let me talk about the design real quick again. Like, this tower actually like tries to be good in terms of designs. Like, you see that thing here, that's pretty decent, I guess. But like, why do you put these misalignments suddenly just in there? Like, please. If you're already trying to make the tower look a bit better than the original one, why do you suddenly just make random platforms thinner? Just make them by half a stud thicker. Just make them by half a stud thinner, and it looks better, and it doesn't basically change the gameplay at all. And also just stop with the misalignments, man, please. Like, it looks terrible. Also, why don't you just make, like, just using thin studs, not for hard gameplay, but just for existing sake, really makes your tower a lot uglier, because thin studs are ugly, man. I think I don't have to explain why. Okay, why did I do that? But yeah, like, this does not look good. Oh my gosh, I didn't even try. You know, you could just make this by 2.2 stats smaller, but you rather decided to make it to move it. Oh my god, man, that's actually insane. Anyway, yeah, this tower really is not the best, in my opinion. This is, in my opinion, one of the worst tower in Ring 1. Even with the revamp basically just didn't change anything. And again, like, how do you let things like that into Etoh, man? Please, fix the damn misalignments. Please. Like, how the hell did this get into Etoh, man? Were the moderators, were the, like, reviewers just on drugs or something like that? Were the creators of this revamp just, you know, moderators or reviewers, and they just reviewed their own tower, man? I don't know. Like, why? How did this get into the game, man? You know, let's just get onto the rankings, I guess. So gameplay, it's a bit better, I guess, than the, you know, old one. It's a 5 out of 10. It's low-key just mid gameplay. Really nothing too special. Like, the quality of the gameplay is just really inconsistent. You know, I really like the thing with the alternate path sections, but like they put so much content into this tower that it just looks ugly at some points and just rushed. And yeah, now we just got gone to the design. Like, things like this, it's hard to describe what they are. But basically, like the parts get onto the wall, and you can see that with like the misalignments, and that's just terrible, man. Okay, fuck, I did not jump. Yeah, okay, that was kind of stupid. I just forgot to jump. You know, in my opinion, this tower is not that good. But I will give the gameplay a 5. So let's just, you know what, I'm gonna skip design real quick. I'm gonna do that as last because I want to save this rant for later. Creativity. You know, this tower is pretty decent, I guess, in terms of creativity. I really like the thing with the alternate path things, and you know, the trust, and this tower really has a lot of iconic parts to it. You know, in my opinion, the creativity definitely is a big spike than the last one, and the classic version. Which the only creative part was literally just a long truss. Besides that, like, the creativity was just extremely bad and basically not existent. I want to give it a 0 if it wasn't for that damn truss, which just, you know, saved the tower's butt. But yeah, this has some decent you know, creativity. I will give it a 3 out of 10. Which, you know, which brings us to the design. You know what? This is the first time I'm gonna introduce negative points. You know how negatives work, right? They just remove the design. Design is -1. You know, like, I'm trying to account this for the time this came out, right? For if this came out in like 2019, 2020, or 2018 even, I would have given the design a smooth pass and just given it like a 3 out of 10. But 2025, and we have shit like looking like this, man. You didn't even scale the damn objects. It's super simple. Roblox Studio even does it for you. You literally just need to do a small thing. Why? This design is ugly as shit. The original tower looks even better than this, man. And that was made flipping 8 years ago. What? How can you make flipping like design like this? Like, and then just try to make it look good by just making these reflecting transparent thingies. And just say, oh yeah, we have good design. Motherfucker, you have 50 quadrillion or whatever highest number I can right now think of misalignments, and you try to make it good looking. Fix the misalignments! Oh my fucking god. Like, making this one star doesn't impact anything. Making it one star, it's not that effortful. You just multi-select everything of this on the wall and just raise it. And if you want like this growing editor, just make that part 1.5 stars bigger, I guess. And again, you can just literally do, like, I'm gonna show you what you can do. If like they wanted this to be a growing editor, you can literally just do this. Right. And I just try so hard to make it like good looking, and it just sucks because of sorry, I misspoke. But it just looks like shit. I'm gonna give this a -1, man. The more I look at it, the more I look at this damn thing, which is the fourth or third time that I've talked about this. This tower sucks. I'm gonna give this a, so gameplay gets a 5 out of 10. I'm trying to be nice. Creativity, 3 out of 10. Design, -1 out of 10. Which means that this tower has a 7 out of 30. Which is terrible. You know what? The more I look at, I'm even trying to hold myself back because, oh wait, design accounts music too, I guess. So Floor 10 has one of the best songs in Etoh. Floor 6 has the worst song in Etoh, and the rest is just basic music. But the negative feelings impact your life more than the positive things. So no, I'm gonna not, because of the music, just make this lower. So I just give it a -1 out of 10. 7 out of 30 in a tower that got into the game last year, and not even the beginning, late. Like, I thought revamps were supposed to be better. I guess it's better by 3 points. Oh my god, man. And the thing is, your design got even worse. It technically did not change any single flipping thing, but still, why? Just no, fuck this tower. That's it with this episode of Etoh Honest Reviews, where I give my most honest reviews. Yeah, this tower failed. And if you haven't caught up with the ranking, right now the ranking is Tower Stress is at place 3, place 2 is Tower Glitching and Healing, and place 1 is Tower Impossible Expectations. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. But what? I didn't even try to do that. Since when does that ladder exist there? Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, yeah. Oh, why? Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video, and see you next time, and bye. That's it with Tower Stress. See you next time, where I'm gonna be reviewing Tower of Screen Punching. So yeah, let's go, and see you next time. Bye.